Among the three heroes now in Malayalam, who gets the maximum collections?
Even now, it is ruled by M&M.
Okay.
Mammootty has the top position now. Prithviraj is another person who can draw a crowd. Sad to say, none of the other young stars are able to attract the crowd. Each time we have a blockbuster from another language, each sets a new record. Like when we started with Pushpa was a trend breaker. But soon after that, RRR came and broke the record. After that, KGF came and broke both the records. And now Vikram has come and broken all the records. I would say Hindi film has lost its mojo and came out with very, very poor quality films.
So virtually it's now a South Indian market.
Yeah. And probably now they have realized concentrate on the content. For the last 3 months, it has been a downfall for the Malayalam film. Now we are actually all waiting for the Fahad Fasil film to hit the screen. The OTT people also buying these movies at a very high premium. I'm sure about 8 to 10 big movies went off to the OTT directly.
One film used to run for 4 shows per day for 1 week minimum. Now you are having a chart where by Saturday his film may be removed and you will put some other film.
That's correct. But I will tell you the reason.
This week I'm in Kerala doing a trade talk on the Kerala box office. Kerala box office has been sort of a barometer for rest of India, because what happens in Kerala and the trend seen in Kerala is sooner or later replicated in other places in northern India and over South India. Here now the theatre business has boomed in a big way post-COVID. The occupancy rate and number of people watching films have increased, and other language films, that is Tamil, Hindi and Telugu movies have been doing extraordinary business in Kerala. So, I have with me Suresh Shenoy of the Shenoy's crew. Welcome to the show, Suresh.
Thank you.
Great talking to you. And what's happening in the scene? I'm told you had a fantastic last 1 year. The Kerala box office boomed mainly with other language films, and equally there was also the Malayalam movies which did well. And Malayalam, the new trend is that Malayalam has become a sort of film which is being shown in the multiplexes in northern India, and it's because of the content. Speak about it.
After COVID, we started off with a bang, both Malayalam as well as other language movies. The content was good. But of late we see that the Malayalam, at least for the last 3 months, we have seen that the Malayalam film has actually taken a beating. Malayalam films have not been able to complete 1 week. There have been show breaks and the collections have been abysmal. Probably the reason for that is the content has been very, very poor. On the same note, the other language movies have all done very well. English, Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu. All of them have done well in Kerala. To give an example, Charlie 777, which is a very small niche film, did extremely good business in Kerala, much more than any of the probably the Malayalam films released last 3 months put together.
Wow.
That is the kind of business that did. Also Vikram, RRR.
Vikram created box office history.
Absolutely.
Have you seen this kind of collections for any film?
No, not in the near future. Because each time we have a blockbuster from another language, that is Telugu or Kannada, each sets a new record. Like when we started with Pushpa was a trend breaker. We released that here in 4 languages and it did very well. So we thought, yeah, this is a record. But soon after that, RRR came and broke the record. After that, KGF came and broke both the records. And now Vikram has come and broken all the records.
Okay.
But we don't have any content which will match these kind of, what do you call?
You are talking about Malayalam.
Malayalam.
But I'm told when after post-COVID, Malayalam cinema has also started off well.
It started off well with small movies like Super Sharanya, Jane Man, Operation
created
Java.
history.
Yes. All these movies were very small movies without any major star. But they did, all of them did well because the content was excellent. People lapped it up.
And did you get good footfalls for these?
Absolutely, we got very good footfall for these movies, even though the start was a little slow. By word of mouth, the collections were up.
And among the three heroes now in Malayalam, who gets the maximum collections?
See, even now it is ruled by M&M.
Okay.
Mammootty has the top position now because it's been quite some time since a Mohanlal picture actually came to the screen. Most of his movies have gone to the OTT. Prithviraj is another person who can draw a crowd. Sad to say, none of the other stars,
The aspiring young stars.
are able to attract the crowd.
You mean to say they don't have an opening? It depends on the word of mouth.
Absolutely. Now we are actually all waiting for the Fahad Fazil film to hit the screen because that will be the first film of his to release in theaters after a spate of OTT releases. OTT releases.
Because his last film, Trans, I was told, did very well.
It did very well and it had to be curtailed due to the COVID outbreak.
Okay. And that was a theatrical hit.
Yes.
Okay. And now you have this Friday, this weekend, two major Malayalam movies.
Yes.
Malayan and
Mahavir.
What are your thoughts on these two films? Will it revive the trade or what are you looking forward to?
See, frankly speaking, I hope it revives the trade. The reason is the buzz on both these movies is not up to the mark. Maybe after the first day, if the reviews are good, there is a very good chance of these both movies doing well.
Why are Kerala theatres not giving the kind of showcasing that is a prime shows, evening and night, to Malayalam small movies, but at the same time you are giving it to other language films?
See, at the end of the day, it's just pure economics. We have to give the best showcasing to the movie that collects the most. Unfortunately, at least for the last 3 months, it has been a downfall for the Malayalam film. And that would probably explain why the best shows were given to other language films, which are actually doing quite well.
Okay.
See, even for a movie like Charlie 777, which started off with a meager 2 shows, it was increased to 4, 7.
Okay.
Because of the collections.
Why is it that Hindi cinema is no longer the Bollywood films, which are a craze in Kerala? Right from Dilip Kumar days, and then you had Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan and Amir Khan. But then after that, now none of the Hindi films are running in Kerala. What's the reason?
Post-COVID, I would say Hindi film has lost its mojo. Again, the reason is content. Probably they took everything for granted and came out with very, very poor quality films over the last 2 years. Thus, probably that has affected the collections. And at the same time, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, they have really accelerated their
So virtually it's now a South Indian market. Along with the big Marvel Studios.
Marvel Studios. Suddenly the Bollywood was caught on the back foot. And probably now they have realized that they have to now concentrate on the content. So probably in the next few months, we'll have good movies coming up.
Is there a policy that you will stop a film if it's running on OTT?
Absolutely. See, the internationally acclaimed window for OTT release is now, I think it is 80 days. So any movie that probably goes to the OTT before that sets a wrong precedent to the public. I'll tell you an example. Now people have, with the number of movies flopping, people have realized that in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that particular movie will come to the OTT. So they refuse to come to the theater. And even if the movie has a potential, it is curtailed because of this feeling. So that has to be overcome.
Yeah, but you have to coexist. There's no way out of
Absolutely, we have to coexist. We have to coexist.
Because Kerala has become the first state in India where now OTT prices are higher than the theatrical rights.
True. See, all this is because of COVID. During that 2-year period, I'm sure about 8 to 10 big movies went off to the OTT directly. That was because all the theaters were closed. There was no other avenue. So probably the OTT people also got probably conned into buying these movies at a very high premium. They wanted the content and there was no other avenue to showcase them. So probably they took a shortcut and went straight to OTT. That has actually probably prompted them now to take a backseat. And now they have taken a policy decision that let the movie release in the theaters and then we will see the outcome and then we will talk business. Which makes sense because they will be able to price the product properly.
How do you feel Malayalam cinema can improve?
See, I think basically the type of content that is coming in was all planned for OTT. And there was a misconception that OTT will lap up everything. And they were at that time, but they were also very choosy. So a lot of films got made for OTT. Then the COVID got over and the OTT also changed their plans. Now they have no option but to come to the theatre. I sincerely feel that any movie should be made for a theatre because that is acceptable both in OTT as well as satellite.
Yeah, but then they are competing with a Vikram or a RRR or a KGF2 where the budgets are more than 150 crores.
Yes.
So you can't expect a Malayalam film to have a 100 crore budget.
No, not on that scale at all. I'm talking about the standard Malayalam film with a small budget or a medium budget with a good content. It will still work. I'm telling you, it will work.
You feel that a person like Mr. Basil Joseph, who has come up with just 1 or 2 films now, he's very popular.
Yes.
They are riding on him to make it a new appearance. Do you think that like that many people will come forward?
Many people will come forward, but the content has to be good. Now, there is a movie called Paltu Janwar.
Paltu Janwar.
Okay, it is done by a team with Dilesh Pothan as a producer. Young team with Basil. I am telling you, I can stick my neck out and tell you that picture will get a good draw.
Paltu Janwar.
Yeah. People are looking forward to seeing that picture. And if the content is good, which I think it will be, it has got a hit written on it.
Say, once a film is a hit, you really promote that.
Absolutely. We actually, how it goes is the number of shows increases. And the fall will have to be taken by the movie that is not doing well.
Yeah, but a lot of producers are telling me that one film used to run for 4 shows per day for 1 week minimum.
Absolutely.
On holdover.
Yes.
Now you are having a chart where by Saturday his film may be removed and he will put some other film.
See, that's correct. But I will tell you the reason. I'm telling you 10 years or 15 years back, a movie used to be released only in one screen in Ernakulam, and probably the next would be Chalakudi or this thing. Or probably even Tripunithura came much later. Thrissur. So, in all, only about 70 to 80 screens were deployed in Kerala. Today, that's not the case.
200?
Today, 200 plus. Some movies like those magnum opus movies are going up to even 350, 400. So, naturally, the collections are going to be divided. Plus, your waiting period of 4 weeks or 50 days to collect 10 crores or 15 crores has been now brought down to 2 weeks. You make that same money or probably more in that 2 weeks. So, you will also have to bear the loss of shows because your picture is not competing with as good as the one that is released alongside.
Okay. So that is the reason.
That is one of the main reasons.
And you are giving more showcasing to other language films because of the collection.
Absolutely. Everybody is doing it.
Even smaller stations, they are playing other language films.
Yeah. See, now one good thing that COVID has done is everybody was locked up in the house watching Netflix or Disney or Amazon Prime. they have started reading subtitles. Huh? So now I can bravely screen a Kannada movie with subtitle, and I'm sure I'll get an audience.
Even you're showing Telugu films
With subtitle, it's working.
it has an audience now.
Absolutely. But not all Telugu movies. See, there's a big Telugu diaspora here.
In Kochi.
Yeah. And they also go for good movies only. Again, a small Telugu movie released will just fade away.
How are the theatres now in Kerala? Earlier, they used to have big, huge, white theatres. Now, you have taken a decision to break down Shenoy's, the iconic theatre. It was one of the best single screens in the sense that Little Shenoy's was a small screen.
More than 10-15 years back, the idea of big screen has already vanished. Because with more theatres coming up in Mofussil areas, now for instance, I was talking earlier about Ernakulam, but now there is all in the 5 kilometer radius, there are 10 theatres releasing. So a movie is released in all these theatres. So to fill up a 1,000-seater is next to impossible. Next to impossible.
So maximum you're saying this 180, 200?
200 maximum. I would say a big theatre is 300 plus.
Oh, 300 plus is a big screen.
That's a big screen.
So the old thing has...
That has already been relegated to the waste basket.
Oh, okay. And do you see, because some people are saying that because of the mall concentrations, malls coming up even in smaller places.
Yes.
I'm not speaking about Kochi. I'm speaking about smaller stations in Kerala.
Yes.
They are going to see cinema in
yes, that is also definitely a factor.
Okay.
And now to compete with them, all these big screens have to reduce their size and make it into 3 or 4 small screens. And in fact, I would say probably it's only in Kerala that so many theatres have been actually converted to multiplexes. Not multiplexes, multi-screens.
Multi-screens.
I don't think that it's not prevalent anywhere in India.
But you feel cinema theatres will remain?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
That experience of going out for a movie will never die. As long as there are films, theatres will exist. But of course, their format will change. But definitely theatres will live. Because watching a movie in a theatre and watching on OTT are two different things.
And like all theatres, they are now saying their concessions are doing better. What about yours?
Concessions have been doing better. Now, I would say they are much better. The reason is, when there is a movie which attracts family, that is when the box office also benefits and also the concession. So probably now I would say concessions would form about 25% of up to 25% of the net
revenue.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually what you are saying is that theatres are good business at the moment.
Theatres are a good business, but location. That is very important. You can't expect the theatre in Cochin to do the same business as in Bombay or any other place. Similarly, you can't expect a theatre in Malabar area, Mofussil area, to do a business of the town. The moment there is a theatre that is doing well, there will be 10 theatres that mushroom around it. That is how the business is killed.
But at the end of the day, cinema business will remain.
100% it will remain. It will grow. In fact, the screen percentage for the kind of population we have is still much less. I would say North India is bereft of theatres.
Yes.
Bereft of multiplexes.
Yeah.
That is one place where growth will be seen.
But
more than South
national
India.
multiplex players are now concentrating more on South India rather than any other place.
Yeah, that is because, see, South India can accommodate all languages. Whereas North India per se are Hindi, to a certain extent English, only in towns. So it makes more sense to concentrate in South India.
So nice chatting with you, and I'm very happy to know that Malayalam cinema is gung-ho. You are gung-ho about
Yes,
Malayalam
yes, absolutely.
And theatre business will survive any
Calamity.
calamity.
Yes.
That's the right word. Thank you.